Hello everyone, this is the third part of our Flutter Firebase Authentication app that we are creating. In the previous two parts, we created the repository and the block files. So now let's maintain the UI and implement the blocks that we created. So I have created three pages here, one for signup page, one is the login page, and then other is the home page. In the home page, there we will show a simple text widget with the email of the Firebase user. And then at the on the app bar, there is an action button where we will log out our user. And then in the sign up page, there are basically three widgets: one text field for email, another one for password, and then a sign up button, also a login button where we'll simply navigate the user to the login page. And the login page is also pretty much similar: two text field, one for email, one for password, and then two buttons, one for to log in the user and then another button to navigate user to the sign up page. So let's now go to the main.dart file, and here we will create our widgets. Now, initially when the app is started, then we need to check the authentication state of the user. So for that, we created the auth block where we can check the authentication state. So initially that block will be called. So for that, let's create a block provider here so that we can get access of the auth block down the tree. So block provider, create the block here. We'll take a context and then return the block. The block was auth block. And then let's create a status widget here. So in this status widget, we will simply check the state of the auth block. So now we'll check the state of the auth block. So for that, there is a special widget, block builder, and here we need to mention the block and the state. Block is auth block, auth state, and then inside builder it will take context and state as parameter. Now let's check the state of the block. So if the state is if you check the state here in the auth block, what are the states? There are four states: auth initial, authenticated, and unauthenticated. So three states there. So let's check all of them. If the state is auth initial state, else if the state is authenticated state, and also check unauthenticated state. So if the state is auth initial, we should show a splash screen. So let's create the splash screen. So here is our splash screen. This is simply showing a text widget at the center of the screen. So let's return the splash screen from the auth initial state splash screen. And if the user state is authenticated, then we should return the home page. Home page. There we need to provide a Firebase user. And then if the state is unauthenticated, then we should return the sign up screen. So return sign up page. So inside this app class stateless widget, we are simply checking the state of the auth block and then returning appropriate widget for the states. So here in the block provider, we are providing the auth block, and let's use the app widget as the child. So that's all about the main.dart file. Now move on to the sign up page. Here we need to use the sign up block. So first of all, here we have two text fields. So one for email and another for password. To get the text from the text fields, we need to have text editing controller. So create two text editing controller, one for email and another one for the password. Okay, let's add those controller. Okay, now we have our text editing controller, and then what we need now, we need to extract those text from this controller when we click on this sign up button. So for that, to sign up the user, we need an instance of the auth block. So how to get the auth block? Sorry, we need the sign up block. So how to get that sign up block? You may attempt to use the sign up block here, but that's not okay. I will show the I showed this now, and later on I will show the correct way. So now let's use the block provider here and create the auth block. Sorry, sign up block. So now we have block provider here with the access of the user registration block, and then uh, let's create a block instance here. User registration block, and then initialize it here. Remember, this is not the correct way. We're gonna get an exception, but let's see how will be the exception. So now we have the block instance here, we have the block provider here, and then when user click on the sign up button, we want to use that block instance to create the user. Uh, and the event here, what is the event? Let's check. Sign up button pressed is the event, this one. So now let's add the event here. Let's provide the email. Email will be the email controller dot text, in the password controller dot text. So now that we have added the block event here, we can expect the user to be signed up. Now let's listen to the states that will be provided from this block, user registration block. So for that, we can use a block builder here. So let's use it. Block builder, and then specify the block and state here. User registration block and state. So check the states here. What are the states? User registration initial, loading, successful, and failure. So let's check all of them. So these are the probable states of this auth block, user registration block. Now we need to render UI based on the states. So let's create separate states for the blocks. One for initial, one for loading, one for success, and one for failure. So when the state is initial, we just want to show a text. So let's create the UI here. I already have created. This is the UI for the initial, and we just want to show a text widget with this message. And when the state is loading, we want to show this progress indicator. And if there is the failure state, then we want to show a failure message in a text widget. So let's return that. So we are returning three widgets for three states. But what about the success state? In the success state, we want to navigate our user to the home page. So we don't need to return anything. But if we don't return anything, we're gonna get an error. So we must need to return a widget from this builder function. So let's return an empty widget here, an empty container. Now, how to listen this success state? You want to navigate the user at that state. So here we are only returning widgets based on the state. So how to navigate the user? So for that we need to listen to this state. So for that we have another widget which is block listener. So let's create that widget. Block listener. mention the block and the state here, and the state. So let's check the user registration successful state here. If state is user registration successful, then you want to navigate our user to the home page. So let's use this method, navigate to home page. Context and the user. So we have our block builder ready, we have our block listener ready, we have the block provider here, and then we have the block instance here. And on the button click, we have added the event to the block. Now let's run the app and let's see what's gonna happen. Of course, we're gonna get an error, but let's see the error first. So now let's run the app. Also, one more task remaining, that we are using block provider in the main.dart file and created this auth block. But what about event? We have not added any event here. So initially, when the apps get started, there should be an event added. So how to do that? We just created the block provider but have not added the event. So now let's add the event here, state from here dot add, and the initial event of our auth block, there is only a single event, this one, app started event. So let's add this event and then run the app now. So here is our app up and running, and as expected there is an error. Now let's read the message. Block provider.auth called with a context that does not contain a block of type user registration block. So let's look at the signup page here. We are returning the signup page if the state is unauthenticated. So initially our state will be unauthenticated if the app gets freshly installed. So signup page was returned, and here we get the error that the block provider.auth called with a context that does not contain a block of the type user registration block. Here is the line that we are initializing the block provider, but this context does not contain the block provider, the user registration block, but we are using initializing the user registration block here, but this context doesn't contain that block. So how to solve this problem? So I have come around with the solution to wrap this class in an stateless widget. So let's do it now. Create another stateless widget here. We can name it as signup page parent, and we can use the block provider from here. Block provider, and then create the block here. And the child is the signup page. Now we don't need to use block provider here, just remove it, and I think we are pretty good to go. So now we have Signup Page parent class where we are using the block provider, and inside the Signup Page we have this block instance. And now this context means this Signup Page parent widget. So here we have this block provider, and here we are returning the user registration block. So now this should be okay. So now let's check. Just rerun the app once again. So here is now our app up and running, and you can see we are successfully navigated to the sign up page. Now let's recap once again. Also remember to return the sign up page parent widget. Previously we are returning the sign up page. As we have wrapped this sign up page with this sign up page parent widget, now we are returning this widget instead of the sign up page. So now let's recap. We have the block provider at the top so that we can get access to the auth block down the tree. And then with creation we also added the app started event here, and then inside this stateless class we are checking the state of the um, auth block. If the state is initial, we are simply returning the splash screen. If the state is authenticated, returning the home page, and if not, then we are simply returning the sign up page. And then inside the sign up page we have the block provider as the parent class, and then we are getting the access of the block from this subclass. And then we are checking the state inside the block builder, and also in the block listener we are listening to the state of the successful state, and then we are returning this sign up page. Now let's check if the sign up is successful or not. Let's put an email here. My email address is not working. I don't know why. So now let's put some random email and password here, and let's check whether the sign up is working or not. A random email, and then click on the sign up button. There should be a progress indicator, and then the sign up is successful. So we have successfully implemented the sign up block and the auth block. So that's all for this video. In the next video I'll try to complete the complete the app. So now that's all for today, and thanks for watching. If you do like what you saw, then please subscribe to my channel. Have a good day.